You look at all the hydrofracking related issues in the Mon, they pretty much boil down to bromide as the one thing that we're picking up that may be a signal. The only way that's going to get into groundwater is if your casing is compromised. So you have a vertical well and then it goes and turns laterally, and that's your production part out there. If you're producing gas and fluids and it's coming up this casing and you have bad cement, you can start getting gas or fluids migrating up along your wellbore, and your cement job is not protecting the surface. You can get that fluids and the gases getting into shallow groundwater. Bromide becomes a problem when water intakes bring in raw water that has a lot of bromide. And there have been some instances where water intakes along the Mon River have been exceeding that limit. Run it through their water treatment system, expose it to chlorine, which is their disinfectant, and you start getting what are called disinfection byproducts.
Disinfection byproduct means something that's in the raw water source that may not be a contaminant on its own. After it's mixed with chlorine and there's interactions with that, it makes other compounds that are carcinogenic. And even some of the natural organic matter that's already in the raw water, when that interacts with chlorine from the disinfection process, can be carcinogenic, something that has the ability to cause cancer at low concentrations. To say that there's carcinogenic materials or compounds that are in those drinking waters means there's exposure relationship. And the higher dose you have or the longer you have it increases the risk of developing cancer. The well pad itself and the well heads are about 1,500 feet from where the intakes are for the water supply. You can get bromide generated just from disturbing a bunch of soil. So even the drilling process itself and a lot of the produced water will come back with a lot of bromide. If bromide's increasing, that means most likely that is associated with oil and gas waste that are not being handled properly, not being managed properly. If they're making it to our surface water systems, there's some problem earlier in the line that's letting them be in. And if they are in our system, it's a real concern to us as the public. Think in general, when you have a lot more of something, even if you have a small effect or a small amount of release or just a small influence, that obviously gets magnified by number. So we haven't even drilled 5,000 unconventional wells in West Virginia, and a lot of experts predict that there'll be 50,000. So we haven't even scratched the surface of what this energy infrastructure is going to be like in the state of West Virginia. It's going to be substantial, and it's going to change the way of life around here for sure.